Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Why do some leaders and organizations ignite movements, while others fizzle out in obscurity? Why do brands like Apple command cult-like loyalty, while competitors with identical products struggle to be remembered? The answer isn't charisma, luck, or even innovation. It's a question buried deep in the human psyche. Why does any of this matter? In Start with Why, Simon Sinek cracks the code behind history's most influential leaders and brands, revealing a universal truth. Lasting success begins not with what you do, but why you do it. This isn't theory, it's biology. Our brains are wired to crave purpose, to rally behind beliefs, not bullet points. From Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of equality to the Wright brothers' obsession with flight, this book uncovers how a single primal question separates fleeting trends from legacies that outlive their creators. Strap in. We're about to rewrite everything you thought you knew about leadership, loyalty, and the invisible force that moves millions. Simon Sinek's Start with Why redefines leadership, innovation, and organizational success by centering on a singular truth. Lasting impact begins with purpose. The book dismantles conventional strategies focused on features, benefits, or competition, arguing instead that the world's most influential leaders and institutions, from Apple to the civil rights movement, succeed because they lead with why they exist. This purpose-driven approach transcends industries and eras, creating movements that outlive products and profits. Over the next 7,500 words, we'll unpack Sinek's philosophy, explore its scientific and psychological foundations, and reveal how individuals and organizations can harness their why to inspire action, build loyalty, and leave enduring legacies. The Golden Circle, a blueprint for inspirational leadership. Sinek's Golden Circle model, why, how, what, serves as the backbone of his thesis. Unlike traditional communication frameworks that start with what, products or services, or how, differentiation, visionary leaders begin with why, the purpose, cause, or belief driving their existence. This inversion taps into the limbic brain, the seat of human emotion and decision-making, forging connections that logic alone cannot achieve. Consider Apple's iconic Think Different campaign. While competitors like Dell focused on specs, we make fast computers, Apple anchored its messaging in a belief, challenging the status quo to empower creativity. This why attracted customers who identified as innovators, creating a tribe rather than a customer base. Similarly, Southwest Airlines' founding purpose, democratizing air travel, shaped its no-frills model, employee-centric culture, and playful branding. By contrast, companies like Blockbuster prioritized what, movie rentals, over why, accessible entertainment, leaving them vulnerable to Netflix's purpose-driven disruption. The Golden Circle also explains why some ventures thrive against impossible odds. The Wright brothers, underfunded and overshadowed by Samuel Langley's well-resourced team, succeeded because their why, solving humanity's flight problem, galvanized relentless experimentation. Langley, fixated on fame and profit, what, abandoned his project after one failure. Sinek notes that what and how are essential, but without why, they become transactional tools rather than transformative forces. The neuroscience of belief, how purpose hijacks the brain. Sinek grounds his theory in biology, explaining how the brain's structure determines receptivity to messaging. The neocortex, responsible for rational analysis, processes what? Facts, features, and statistics. Meanwhile, the limbic system, governing emotions and trust, decodes why. When leaders lead with purpose, they bypass the neocortex's skepticism, triggering instinctive loyalty. This explains why consumers often choose brands that align with their identity over objectively superior products. Harley-Davidson riders, for instance, don't buy motorcycles for efficiency, they buy into a rebellion against conformity. The company's why, celebrating freedom, resonates so deeply that customers tattoo the logo on their bodies. Similarly, Nike's "Just Do It" slogan transcends athletic gear, symbolizing personal empowerment. By contrast, brands like Sears faltered by emphasizing what, appliances, tools, without renewing their why, democratizing quality goods for post-war America. The limbic brain's dominance also clarifies why storytelling outperforms data. Charity, Water, a non-profit, raised millions by sharing individual narratives of communities gaining clean water, not just global scarcity statistics. Likewise, Tesla's mission to accelerate sustainable energy, why, transforms electric cars from commodities into symbols of environmental stewardship. Sinek warns that rational appeals alone, our software is 20% faster, invite commoditization, while purpose-driven narratives, we empower small businesses to thrive, create irreplaceable value. Manipulation versus inspiration, the two paths to influence. Sinek draws a stark line between manipulation, external tactics to drive short-term behavior, and inspiration, which cultivates enduring loyalty through shared belief. Manipulation leverages fear, promotions, or peer pressure. Buy now limited stock. While effective temporarily, these erode trust and commoditize offerings. For example, constant discounts train customers to value price over quality, shrinking margins and inviting copycats. Inspiration, however, emerges from alignment with why. Patagonia's "Don't Buy This Jacket" campaign urged conscious consumption, risking sales to reinforce its environmental mission. Result? A 30% revenue surge as eco-conscious buyers flocked to support the brand's integrity. Similarly, Starbucks' early why, creating a third place between work and home, justified premium pricing. When it drifted toward rapid expansion, what? Customer disconnection prompted a costly return to its roots. Trust, Sinek argues, is the ultimate currency. Southwest Airlines' consistent prioritization of employees, how, over shareholders, a reflection of its democratic why, built unparalleled customer loyalty. Conversely, Volkswagen's Dieselgate scandal, betraying its eco-friendly why, erased decades of goodwill overnight. The lesson: trust accrues through actions aligned with why, but a single misstep can obliterate it. Leadership? Turning believers into movements. True leadership, per Sinek, isn't about authority, but about embodying why so vividly that others voluntarily follow. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech didn't outline policy, what, or tactics, how. It crystallized a belief in equality that millions adopted as their own. This shared why transformed passive listeners into active participants, sustaining the civil rights movement through brutal opposition. Modern leaders like Satya Nadella exemplify this. Upon becoming Microsoft's CEO, he reignited its original why: empower every person and organization to achieve more, shifting focus from software sales, Windows, to cloud-based collaboration, Azure, Teams. By framing technology as a tool for human potential, Nadella tripled Microsoft's market value and revitalized employee morale. Contrast this with Yahoo's identity crisis under Marissa Mayer, where a focus on acquisitions, what, without a unifying why, led to irrelevance. Sinek's celery test illustrates decision-making aligned with why. If your purpose is health, you'd choose celery over cookies despite external pressures. IKEA applies this by rejecting cheap, disposable furniture, what, to uphold its why of democratic design. Even when cheaper rivals emerge, IKEA's believers stay loyal, valuing its mission over momentary savings. Scaling purpose. The innovator's dilemma. Sinek adapts Everett Rogers's diffusion of innovation theory, showing how why bridges early adopters and the majority. Early adopters, 13.5%, embrace ideas based on belief. The majority, 68%, require proof. Tesla first captivated eco-conscious innovators. Why? Then used their advocacy to sway pragmatists seeking reliable EVs. What? Conversely, Google Glass failed by targeting tech elites. What? Without a compelling why beyond novelty. Organizations often dilute why to chase mass appeal. Lululemon initially thrived by serving yoga purists. Why? Mindful living. As it expanded into mainstream athleisure, what? Core customers felt abandoned, prompting a return to community-driven initiatives like free classes. Similarly, Airbnb's original why, belonging anywhere, guided its pandemic pivot to long-term stays and online experiences, while copycats like Oyo crumbled under generic expansion. Sinek warns that growth demands why stewardship. Walmart's drift from Sam Walton's why, empowering rural communities, to urban cost-cutting alienated its base, while Costco's steadfast focus on employee welfare, how, and member value, what, fortified its $200 billion empire. The key, letting why dictate scaling strategies, not vice versa. Discovering your why, a journey of self-awareness. For individuals, uncovering why requires excavating past experiences for recurring themes. Oprah Winfrey's why, using media to enlighten, emerged from childhood trauma and a career of empathetic storytelling. Similarly, Elon Musk's why, ensuring humanity's multi-planetary future, fuels SpaceX's relentless innovation, even amid failures. Organizations rediscover why by revisiting founding stories. Lego's near collapse in 2003 prompted a return to its 1932 why, fostering creativity through play, leading to hits like Lego Mindstorms and The Lego Movie. Microsoft's 2014 revival under Nadella involved exhuming its original why from the 1970s, long before Windows dominated. Implementing why demands systemic alignment. REI closes on Black Friday, opt outside, to honor its outdoor stewardship mission, while Zoom's how, ease of use, and what, video calls, stem from a why of empowering human connection. Internally hiring for cultural fit, Zappos, and incentivizing purpose-driven KPIs, Patagonia's Earth Tax, institutionalize why. Why drift? The silent killer of organizations. Why drift occurs when short-term gains overshadow purpose. Boeing's shift from engineering excellence, why, to profit-driven outsourcing, what, culminated in the 737 MAX crashes and a $20 billion loss. Conversely, Starbucks' 2008 comeback under Howard Schultz involved shuttering stores to retrain baristas, reaffirming coffee craftsmanship as its why. Preventing drift requires vigilance. Patagonia's B Corp certification legally binds it to environmental and social standards, while Salesforce's 111 model, 1% equity, 1% product, 1% employee time to charity, operationalizes its why of stakeholder capitalism. Regular why audits, assessing decisions against core values, help leaders spot misalignment early. Conclusion: the timeless currency of purpose. Start with why isn't a business manual but a manifesto for human potential. In an age of AI and automation, purpose remains uniquely human, a beacon that attracts talent, customers, and legacy. Profit, Sinek reminds us, funds the mission. It isn't the mission. From classrooms to boardrooms, Those who lead with why don't just sell products, they build movements. As you reflect on your why, ask, what belief is so intrinsic that it would persist even if your current role vanished? The answer is your North Star, guiding every how and what that follows. So what's your why? It's the question that separates fleeting success from enduring legacy. The difference between selling a product and sparking a movement. Simon Sinek's Start with Why isn't just a playbook for leaders. It's a mirror forcing us to confront whether we're building castles or cathedrals. Castles crumble when the king dies, but cathedrals, crafted by generations united in purpose, outlive their architects. Apple didn't just make phones, it ignited a rebellion against the ordinary. The Wright brothers didn't just fly, they defied gravity to prove humanity could. Your why isn't a slogan. It's the heartbeat of every decision, the compass in chaos, the answer to what's the point? In a world drowning in noise, your why is your megaphone. So don't just chase goals, ignite a cause. Don't just lead, inspire. Because when you start with why, you don't just make history, you become the flame others carry forward. Now, what will your flame burn for?